Good morning. This is Bradley Goldberg, your forensic CPA. Quick 30 seconds on a topic. It's about being held to a higher standard. Let me explain. Something I've learned. We have laws, expectations, responsibilities in this life. But they're not equal upon everyone. No. Even though we say they are, they're not. But there's a good reason why they're not. And why you could argue that they shouldn't be. You see, certain people are held to a higher standard, to a higher level of responsibility. For instance, although ignorance is never a defense to the law, we have to be realistic that someone that may be intellectually disabled or lacks certain education, could we frankly and humanistically hold them to some complex issue that arises in their life and hold them responsible as you would someone with a much more well-educated and different upbringing that 100% know and should have known that they did something that may be considered wrong, a mistake, fraud, etc. The problem is that determining that is a difficult thing, right? I mean, especially when you start to get into the fine lines and into the gray areas. So we can't really look at that and say, well, that person is held to this standard, and this person is held to this standard, and this person. But could we argue, and I'm not an attorney, but could we argue that an attorney should be held to a little bit of a higher standard regarding the law? I mean, some things are just obvious. And in the law, we have what's called the reasonable person standard, something that doesn't even exist, an absolute reasonable person, right? But they do use it in the law, the reasonable person standard. What would a reasonable person do in a certain situation? Would a reasonable person take their hand out of a fire if their hand was burning and hot? Yes. Some people would do it faster or slower, depending. Or if it was done voluntarily, might be a little different.